Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of CSO Connected. I'm thrilled to be here today with Howard Young. He is the Global Head of Channel Partners for Western Union Business Solutions. He's been with the company since 2001, so a wonderful legacy of watching a company grow, change, and shift. And we're going to talk today about sales transformation and hopefully get some insights on all the things that you've learned along the way. But before we get started, we'd love to know a little bit more about you. Sales is not considered by everyone to be the target thing that they wake up dreaming about when they're a child. So what got you into the sales profession?
Yeah, good question. And I think like most people who end up in sales, something went wrong. My plan from a 7-year-old was always to be a hotel manager. Don't know why, but that was my dream. And all the way through my school years, my college, university years, it was all geared to be a hotel manager. I started realizing that in that hospitality industry, the hours were very long. The money wasn't great. So I took a bold move and jumped out. Thought, what can I do next? Wasn't sure. Found an advert for a sales role, a telesales role in a call center, and thought they give sales training. I'm going to go for that. And then 6 years later, I left that company with my sales career well and truly underway. And I look back now at that 20-year period and think, wow, I think sales is the best job on the planet. It's a real profession, in my opinion. Those who do it well and do it right earn all the plaudits that they get. And I've certainly ridden the highs. I've suffered some of the lows, but it's mainly been highs. And I'm really proud of my sales career and the sales profession in general.
That's really nice to hear. I think it's quite funny. I think you've really landed on something there, because similarly, I got into sales because something else didn't work out. And I bet that would be true for many. And I think it's exciting to see that sales is being more and more recognized as a profession. And certainly we like to think that we're helping, and we appreciate you being here today to help us on that journey as well.
Happy to do so.
In talking about sales transformation, actually before we get into that, let's start with this. Western Union, I don't know if everybody knows the breadth of all the things that Western Union's done, and certainly the simple things that come to mind is sending a telegraph or transferring money, which is a very consumer-based view of Western Union. But you're on the business solutions. Talk to us a bit more about what that means and who Western Union is.
Sure, I'd love to, yeah. So Western Union are a 160-year plus company, very innovative in their approach from day one and all the way through. In 2011, following the great success of that money transfer business on the consumer side, the board and the Hikmet Ersik, our CEO, decided to invest into the business space, and through acquisition created Western Union Business Solutions. So they bought a company called Custom House and Travelex Global Business Payments. So my legacy, I worked for Travelex, so we came together to form Western Union Business Solutions, and to bring the same concept of moving money for better, which is a mantra that we're very proud of at Western Union, into the business space as well. Individuals need to move money to their loved ones or to their family members or friends around the world. As we also know, businesses also need to do that now as the world has got a lot smaller. So our Business Solutions division is set up to help businesses, SMEs, corporates. It's there to help universities, students move around the world now and study in different parts of the world. That comes with an inherent foreign exchange involvement. FIs, NGOs, legal institutions, the list is growing. So it's a really exciting business to be in. And moving money cross-border, cross-currency is what we do and how we do it.
I'd love to, I think it's really fascinating because you have the benefit of being with this wonderful legacy company that has a long and rich history, and yet in the business solutions space, it sounds like some of the agility and excitement of a new company. And to achieve that, I imagine you've gone through quite a lot of transformation. Before we talk about what those transformations are, there's a lot of things that are meant by transformation. There's all kinds of transformations. There's cultural transformations, digital transformations, business transformations. How, for the purpose of our conversation and for what you've gone through with Western Union, how should we be thinking about transformation today?
I think categorizing it with, we constantly transform. We have to. This world is moving so fast, blink and you miss it sort of thing. So transformation comes in many guises. What we're going to talk about today, hopefully, is around our people and our culture and how we transform the way in which they go to work, certainly in the front line on our sales organization. So continually innovating, but actually putting some tools in place to help that innovation, rather than just relying on the goodwill and the endeavour of our frontline and our sales teams.
So what led Western Union to go through this transformation in the first place?
Our customers. Yeah, as with anything, everything we do should be driven by our customers. And we found at a period we were serving all of our customers equally. So, you might have been a one-man band importer of spanners versus a huge corporate listed on the stock exchange. Pretty much our value proposition and our service delivery model was the same.
Okay.
So we had to transform that. We have different customers with different customer needs. So we had to address that in the right way. And to do that, we needed to upskill our people. We needed to utilize our digital offering for certain customer sets. And we needed to culturally bring everybody on the journey with us, which wasn't easy.
No, and I'm hoping we'll get into that. So we talked about, you mentioned a few different journeys there. I think your customers experienced a journey with you as well, so how you've engaged with the customer, and certainly your employees and the culture within the business and sort of how they do their job and how they come to work. Yeah. But let's tackle the customer first. What was the experience like in helping your customers transform, whether it be in their perception or their way that they interacted and engaged with you, and sort of, what were some of the challenges and how did you overcome those?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a general need of a customer within this space that has always been and will always be. Trading internationally is complex, right? They want a frictionless experience in terms of moving money around the world, but it's not frictionless. It's very challenging. You think about the compliance and the regulatory factors in various parts of the world, finding a new supplier in a new country, finding a new customer in a new country, and then figuring out how they're going to get paid and how they're going to manage the risk of the foreign exchange element of that. Yeah. An invoice that's issued today to be paid in 30 days' time in a foreign currency will be worth something different to what it is today. So if you've got profit margin built into that invoice send, there could be a problem there. So it's helping the customer to find ways in which they can protect their, manage their risk and protect their business and their cash flow, which is what all businesses need, but also trying to make things as efficient and as streamlined as possible in that process of moving money around the world, which, as I say, should be easy. When I first joined 20 years ago, to make an international payment through a bank, a business would have to go to a bank, queue up, fill out a form, hand it over the counter, and then wait for 2 or 3 days to find out how much it had cost them and when it was going to get there. It's mad to think that in such a short space of time, we've transformed the whole industry to what we have now, where via a mobile phone, somebody can send a payment to somebody in seconds. But it is complex. And, certainly in the SME space, we find around the world, these SMEs are experts in their business field. They're not necessarily experts in foreign exchange and, the complexities of it. So being able to offer that service and that solution to those customers with the technology to make the payment as easy as possible has been part of that journey that we've taken with our customer base.
I imagine the globalization of businesses, of every size of business, has only layered on more complexity and for the small business also cost, because conducting foreign exchange trades is quite expensive, isn't it, as well?
It can be. It certainly can be. It can obviously be cheaper,
Sure.
Manufacturing companies buying raw material in from China, say, rather than the UK, as they perhaps would have done, is probably cheaper. But if the exchange rate moves in the process of that transaction, then there could be a cost implication to the business. It could, of course, go the other way, and they could make a gain. But it could be. It's a risky business, and that's part of the fun and part of the excitement that we bring that we get to be able to go and talk to our customers about this and how they can mitigate that risk.
Well, I can imagine, because I know just when I go on holiday, I'm always watching what's happening with the pound, depending on where I'm going and how much more shopping I think I'm going to get to do, whether it's favourable or not.
So. Well, that's the point, right? But your priority is getting your stuff packed, getting a nice hotel, getting your flights on time. It's only at the last minute you tend to think about how am I going to get my money and what's that money going to look like. Yeah. And that's the same in the business world. Businesses are thinking about what's in their warehouse. They're thinking about where their customers are. Are they getting paid? Yeah. How are they going to get paid? But they don't think about the foreign exchange implication often until the very end of the cycle. Yeah. And at which point that could be too late. So that's what we help our customers to mitigate.